public. Stay at least 6 feet apart from others. And get tested. Join us and fight the spread. Visit scdhec.gov/COVID-19.
Coping with COVID is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdhec.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. Also, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Center. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their life. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Center at agapects.com. And Columbia Housing Authority. The agency is looking for stories from former residents of Allen Benedict Court to retain some of the property's rich history. In its 80-year life, Allen Benedict Court has been home to some of the country's elite, including a Grammy Award-winning performer, corporate executives, national television celebrities, a host of doctors, lawyers, and NBA greats. So share your pictures, mementos, and memories at chcares@chasc.org. Coping with COVID, brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Good Saturday afternoon to you. I am Tre Tailor, and you're watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. It's brought to you by SCDHEC, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connections. Well, have you been left out of work or school because of your race, gender, or age? Well, Richland County is hosting a webinar about race, equity, and inclusion. Erica Wade and Ron Harvey join us later to discuss the topic and event. Thank you all so much for joining us. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And the special election is Tuesday, and a candidate who ran and almost won last time is running again. Jonnieka Farr joins us, and she's going to tell us why we should vote for her this time again. That's next on Coping with COVID. But first, your COVID community updates. The Anderson County Sheriff's Department is looking for a woman they say is endangered. Priscilla Joy Hendricks was last seen around 2 p.m. on September 4th driving a 2015 Mazda CX-5 on Ashby Road in Anderson County. She's 5'5", brown hair, 130 pounds, and was last seen seeing pink pajama shorts and top. Her family says she's been having delusional thoughts and could be a danger to herself. If you have any information, call 1-888-CRIME-SC. After a 3-week decline, South Carolina now has the highest number of positive COVID cases in 5 weeks, with most of them in Richland County. 1,511 was the highest one-day total since July 29th. No word on how these numbers reflect the University of South Carolina numbers. This past week, Carolina reported over 1,500 positive COVID cases and have suspended 15 students and several Greek houses for violating COVID rules. They've also canceled in-person rush events. Meanwhile, over at Furman University, they suspended Kappa Alpha for 4 years after that fraternity had 2 large parties. The school added that this has added to the spread of COVID. And former University of South Carolina head coach Lou Holtz will receive the Presidential Medal of Freedom. President Trump says the 3-time National Coach of the Year will be awarded the highest honor given to a civilian, not only because of his contributions to football, but also to charity and how he's lived his life. No word yet on when or how the ceremony will be presented. SCDHEC has your most up-to-date listings of times, dates, and locations for COVID testing in and around South Carolina. Check the bottom of the screen for information, which includes the brand new testing site at Benedict College. Benedict and CVS have partnered to give the rapid tests. Those tests are free, but you must make an appointment. You can call 803-705-4351. Also check the scroll at the bottom of the screen for information on the DHEC Care Line. It not only can give you information about COVID testing, but but also if you need a ride to get a test. Also, if you would like to host a COVID test in your community or at your event, you can also call the number on the screen to do that. Dominion Energy payment plans and arrangements are available. As a matter of fact, the folks with Dominion Energy will be on the show next week, Tuesday. They'll be talking about energy saving tips if you're working or schooling from home. And then on Thursday, they'll be with us to talk about those payment plans and payment arrangements. And go to maskupcolumbiasc.com. Post a picture of yourself with a great mask on. Get your family and friends to like and share it, and you could win some great prizes from the city of Columbia. It's maskupcolumbiasc.com. Finally, the South Carolina Bar Association and SC Legal Services have developed a hotline if you need help with your mortgage or with your rent. Call 833-958-2266. Now, they also have a website available if you need pandemic-related legal help and resources for emergency rental assistance. Again, that information is at the bottom of the screen, scbar.org/COVID help. I'm Tre Tailor, and you are watching Coping with COVID, updates on the pandemic and information to help you thrive and survive COVID-19. And I don't know if you've heard, but September is my birthday, and we are hooking you up with some great prizes. Keep listening for your chance to win Tre's birthday giveaway. That's right. You can get a Coping with COVID reusable mask. Also, 10 disposable masks from the City of Columbia and Palmetto Media Connections, body butter from Sabriti, also gift certificates to Janine the Coffee Queen, also European Wax Center, and New York High Style. Also, Jay's got some of his hot sauce, J. Anthony Brown. That's all of that and so much more. Your chance to win comes up today and every day in September on Coping with COVID. One more thing I want you to do, maybe two more. Would you go over to my professional page, Tailor Made Productions on Facebook? Please like and share that link so that not only you can watch Coping with COVID Monday through Saturday at 2 p.m., you can also get all of your COVID-related updates. The second thing I want you to do is go to YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube. I want to say hi to all of the YouTubers. And listen, if you are watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Subscribe, and please check it out because we update those episodes every single week. I'm Tre Tailor, and Erica Wade joins us. She's the manager of Richland County Office of Small Business Opportunity. Also, Ron Harvey is the COO of Global Core Strategies and Consulting. Thank you guys so much for joining us today on Coping with COVID.
Thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Listen, guys, we hear a lot about inclusion, equality, and diversity. Those are really hot words right now. And the fact is, it's a conversation and advocacy that really is needed because there's so much discrimination now, not only going on in our world, but as it relates to opportunities and school and on the job. Wouldn't you agree?
Most definitely. And that's why it's so fitting that we're having this webinar come Thursday. So I totally agree with what you're saying, Tre. And thank you for having us.
Absolutely. Now, I know, Ron, that this is your space. You do a lot of webinars, seminars, specifically now on inclusion and diversity. What are we seeing more, a lot of? Are we hearing and seeing more of it?
Well, I won't say that we're hearing more of it. I think it's been there. I think because things have been on a pause and a standstill because of COVID, I think we're starting to pay more attention and become more aware of it. So it's been taking place. I think people are just a little bit more aware and more sensitive to paying attention to what's been happening otherwise that they didn't pay attention to. So I think it's been around. I just think now we're doing a better job as a society and a community of paying attention to it. And people are speaking up more about it.
Yeah. And you're right. I mean, it's like racism. I mean, it's always been racism. It's just that it is so much more to the forefront. And you know what, guys, I tell you, my hope is that all of these seminars, all of these webinars, all of the attention, as you say, Ron, that's being given to these types of topics will move the needle at some point,
Yeah, which I think that's the important piece of it is how do you, because this is a movement and the important part is movement take time. And so I tell people as you're going through this work, if you're expecting an overnight success, you're probably going to be frustrated or exhausted or irritated because it does take a while to actually move the needle, and it moves, but it moves super slow.
Right.
almost like a turtle across the street.
Yeah, yeah. Want to thank Ennis Williams for watching. Hey there, Ennis, and Joanne Cunningham. Thank you, beautiful. Happy birthday to you. And Alex Wright. Thank you guys all for watching Coping with COVID. Please like and share out this information so we can get the message to the masses, because I think we all know someone who has experienced discrimination. And again, like I said, it could be your race, it could be your age, or it could be your gender.
Yes. Yes. And I think the important part is as you look at the Office of Business Opportunity and talk about in the workspace, and you talk about in the schools, or you talk about in society in general, it happens in just about every organization, and also happens within communities that look alike as well. And so I think it's super important that we pay attention to what are the things that are ingrained into our society, systemic, if you will, that have been there for so long that it's almost easy to pass by it and don't acknowledge it, because it almost became normal.
Yeah.
That this is what happened. So I think it's important for us to pay attention. How is it impacting our ecosystem? How is it impacting our economy? How is it impacting our schools and education? How is it impacting the ability for the average human being to take care of their family and have a quality of life?
So tell us about this upcoming webinar. When is it?
Well, the webinar is going to be held on Thursday, September the 10th. It's from 10 to 12:30, and we have an awesome lineup. We also have Mr. Ron Harvey that's going to start off with attorney Colette Holt from Colette Holt and Associates. They're going to start off with a keynote chat, that's what I call it. And one of the topics they're going to talk about is when compliance meets reality. I mean, it's real. And when we brainstormed and tried to find out what's a good catchphrase, we talked about what is real, what is going on, but how do you go ahead and approach it and deal with it from a compliance standpoint? And with Colette having that law background, and she's well-versed in supplier diversity and inclusion, I figured Ron and Colette would be a good collaborative group to keep this conversation going. And then Trey, after that, we're going to have our panel discussion. And with our panel discussion, you're going to be moderating, and we're so happy to have you as part of this event.
Yes, I don't want anybody to think she just told me this. I already knew that. Yeah, thank you for asking me. I thank you for asking me, because like I said, this is such important work that you guys are doing, just to take the peel the onion back, so to speak. Yeah. You know, a couple of weeks ago, we talked to the new VP of diversity at University of South Carolina, Dr. Julian Williams, and we were talking about how sometimes people don't want even feel comfortable letting people know that they've been discriminated. They don't even know if it is actually discrimination. Is it discrimination? Am I just in my feelings? You know, those kind of things. So I think this seminar is so important to, like I said, to kind of pull back the covers so people can get the information. Let's talk a little bit about those panelists.
So we have Ms. Louise Cornell, who's the Supplier Diversity Manager from BMW. We have Mr. Jimmy Chow, that's a small business owner of Chow and Associates. We have Mr. Dominic from Optus Bank, he's the president and CEO. Also, Ms. Felicia Howard, Vice President of Dominion Energy, and Dr. Kinston Griffin, he's the founder and CEO of Dream Builder. So as you can see, we have a very diverse panel. They all are top in their field and in their career. So they have a lot of knowledge that they're so eager and excited to share with our small business community. And we're excited.
Ron, can you tell us a little bit more about the backgrounds of the different panelists and kind of what they're going to talk about during the seminar?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at all the panelists, one of the things we wanted to ensure is that we were pretty inclusive. And we wanted to pull Felicia Howard, African-American female at Dominion, who's been really quiet, but done a phenomenal job of rising to some ranks and didn't have to be always aggressive or outspoken, but she managed to do it in a very professional way. And so she brings this thing to the table. How do you work your way through corporate when you're either female or someone of a different culture or a different race? And she's going to speak a lot about how do you do that? Because oftentimes we may feel as a woman or a minority, we got to be loud and always seen.
Yeah,
she's super quiet, but super smart, very talented, well-groomed, and she had to have some sponsors and help as she go through there. Dr. Griffin, which is out of Charlotte, is running a multi-million-dollar organization that started where he's still a small business, but had to figure out he's a graduate of USC. And so we're pulling people from right here in this local region that have done things that we can appreciate and what they bring to the table. When you look at Luis, which is the diversity supply program manager for BMW, who truly has a passion for helping small businesses be successful. And so the information she's going to share is if you're going to go after a corporate partner like BMW, what should you have in place? What conversations should you be having? Who should you surround yourself by? And what does it take to be prepared to do business with a company that big? Because if you're not ready, it can also shut your company down.
Right.
And Dominic, who's super important for us from a banking industry, a Black-owned business, a bank that's here, is how do we make sure, because there's a wealth gap. And there's a opportunity, even if you look at SBA, their minorities were disproportionately not given loans. And we want to be able to close the gap on why are we not getting loans. And if you look at like Black businesses specifically, more than 41% have closed down from COVID. We want to make sure we pay attention to have these tough conversations and ensure that we start talking about where are we? I know what the Civil Rights Act said, but that's not actually happening. There are a lot of things that were promised that are still not happening. And so we want to open it up and say, how do we start having these risky, uncomfortable, real conversations so we can do real work in our community?
Yeah, that's good. Erica Wade and Ron Harvey join us. Erica is the manager of the Richland County Office of Small Business Opportunity. And Ron is the COO of Global Core Strategies and Consulting. And they have come together to present this webinar, which is going to be next Thursday, and on race, inclusion, and equality, and diversity, all of that. Letter D, all of the above. And That's right. So who should attend? Who is this webinar for?
Well, we're focusing more on our small business, small local minority business community. And when I look at the registrants is coming in, that's exactly those who we're targeting. And believe me, the registration is going well. They're signing up. So obviously, it lets us know that this is a conversation that they're willing and ready to have. So like I said, our small, local, and minority businesses, those are the ones that we're actually targeting for this event. Because like Ron said, we want to give them the tools that they need. Right now, a lot of things are shut down, yes. But once the world is open, and yes, I said the world, not just South Carolina, once the world is open, we want to make sure our small business community have all the tools that they need to be competitive in this business world. We want to make sure that, we want them to know they don't have to be aggressive to get a seat at the table. Once they know what they have, they're comfortable with their businesses, they should be able to just, be able to compete for contracts because they're qualified. And that's one of the reasons why we're having this. And this is not the only webinar that we have. Our office, we do a lot of technical trainings just so that our small businesses can get the tools that they need to be competitive in this cycle.
Yeah. And Erica, I want to talk to you a little bit more about what your office does. But first, Alex wanted to know about the price, and I was going to ask you about that. How do people register for this webinar?
So you can go to our website at www.richlandcountysc.gov/OSBO. And you will click on the workshops tab, and it will take you directly to diversity and inclusion, and you can just register from there. It's a Zoom event, and guess what? At no cost. At no cost to you.
Right. So the information is on the screen, Alex, and anyone else who is interested, again, go to richlandcountysc.gov/OSBO. And as you said, Erica, you'll see the drop down where people can go ahead and register. And if they have questions, of course, the phone number is also listed, or the email address if you have some questions. But here's the thing, again, it's just such great information that small businesses, any business needs to know, so that you can be equipped, as Erica said, to compete in the world, particularly now that we are dealing with a pandemic that has affected all of us all over the world for several months and is poised to continue to affect us at the least through the end of this year.
Yes. Yeah,
Correct.
Which is important. I think for small businesses, oftentimes we hear in the community, Trey, is continue to get better. And so even if you had a successful year last year, things have changed so much when it comes to small business and how we do things across the world, that we want to give you the opportunity to continue to enhance your ability to be competitive in the workforce. The workforce is changing. Businesses are changing. And, you know, if you look at, you know, Chick-fil-A, 80% of their business is done through drive-through. Nobody knew that was the case, but it's always been the case. And they had a system already in place. So what systems do you have in place to stay competitive? Because the world is changing. If you're frustrated with being on Zoom or doing what Trey is doing here today, I say grow comfortable with that, because it's going to be the way of life for us going forward. How do you stay connected? For me as a small business, I've actually reached more people because of COVID, because I had to go virtual, than I would reach when I did it just in Columbia. So now I'm reaching people across the world versus just, you know, the Midlands, if you will. So this is a good opportunity for you to expand versus get caught up and box yourself in. So what are you doing to expand your business virtually versus get caught up in just Columbia or Richland or Lexington or Irmo? You know, there's plenty of opportunity, but you got to get out of your own way.
Yeah, that is so good, Ron, because you are absolutely right. We can, yes, COVID happened, but you know what? After COVID, it's going to be something else. Because why? Life happens. You know, life is going to happen. Sure enough, if you in the world, you're going to be affected by something that, you know, is going to affect your life. So I love the example that you said, that the folks at Chick-fil-A, because they already, you know, people were bombarding that drive-through to get those chicken sandwiches. I don't know what they put in them, but people just love that stuff so much. I'm a vegetarian, no shade to Chick-fil-A, but I love the fries. Anyway, so, but yeah, so they, like you said, they already had something in place. So here's the thing now, as a business, as a small business, yes, you've been affected. Okay, but what are you doing right now? What have you been doing since March after you dried your eyes and got yourself together and thought, you know, because sometimes, you know, things shake us up a little bit. So now what? Now what? Utilize this as an opportunity. And Ron, you're absolutely right. The social media, Zoom, StreamYard, Google Hangout, Facebook has rooms. And here's the other thing. Big companies are recognizing that people are going to technology. That's why Facebook opened up their little meeting rooms, you know. So there are things that we can take advantage of. So what are we going to do to pivot, to shift, to utilize technology and do some different things? Because you're right. If you were a local business dependent on folks in the Midlands, like you said, Ron, now you've got an opportunity. Think about it, to now open up your business to the whole wide world.
Yes. And Trey, here's the unique thing for business owners to understand. Big companies are using small companies a lot more, because we can pivot a lot faster, because there's not a lot of red tape. So if a company calls Global Core and says, hey, we need you to do this, can you do it next week? There's not a lot of red tape for me. Those decisions can be made really, really quick, very, very efficient, and the turnaround time is super fast. And so I will tell small companies, don't be intimidated by that. Appreciate that. You know, there are obstacles. Run towards the obstacle and figure a way around it. They're going to be barriers and obstacles. Don't be afraid of them. They're going to show up. Actually expect them and work around them.
Yeah. You were going to say something, Erica?
Yes, I've heard that word 2 or 3 times, pivot.
Pivot.
You know, since the pandemic, that is one word that you've been hearing on every webinar, pivoting, pivoting, pivoting. How are you going to pivot? You know, maybe that one thing that you did is not going to work in these new times. So what do you have to do? You have to pivot, figure it out, try another way. And hey, before this, I didn't know Zoom. We're working from home. So what did we have to do? Even from an OSBO perspective, we have to pivot and learn now how to do Zoom. Before, we used to have face-to-face site visits. Now, because of the pandemic, we do them virtually. Keyword pivoting. Business goes on just like usual. So you just have to figure out how to pick yourself up and keep it moving. So like I said, I've been hearing that word pivot, pivot, pivot. That's been the capital word of this pandemic. But you're absolutely right. And, you know, just to kind of piggyback on what we were talking about when I mentioned the world, you know, what your product may not be what's the thing here in Columbia. So now, like I always tell some of our small businesses, you don't just put your eggs in one basket. You
That's
can't
right.
just put all your eggs in one basket. So that's why I said when the world opens, instead of just saying when Columbia opens, this is the time to quote unquote pivot, get the tools that you need. So now you can penetrate the world, because some people may have to get up and move to another city, hopefully still in South Carolina, to keep the South Carolina dollars local here in South Carolina. But I mean, you have to go where that market is.
Yeah.
So that's why I say when the world opens, come get these necessary tools that you're going to need. And that's why you need to register for this seminar that we have, because it's going to cover all of that.
Yeah.
Those are some of the topics that we're going to talk about. I mean, how to be prepared when you get that seat at the table. That's the one thing we want to talk about.
Yeah, that's good.
Businesses. Getting a seat at the table. At small businesses, we're talking about inclusion. Sometimes, because you're small, large companies don't want to work with you. Well, now that we have this downtime, maybe this is time now you can form a joint venture to make yourself bigger so you can get that seat at the table. But once you get that seat at the table, are you prepared?
Yes, exactly.
Time now to prepare. So once again, hey, that's why I say get on this, get registered for this seminar. We give you all the tools and how to prepare for what's up and coming.
Yeah, that's such a great point, Erica. It's one thing to want to get all of the great opportunities. It's another thing to be ready when you get the opportunity.
Yes.
And this is a great time to be getting ready. Get ready so that you want to be ready when you get the opportunity. You don't want to get the opportunity and not get ready, because opportunities are too precious.
Yes, and you don't get a second chance. Sometimes with some of those companies, they're going to move on to the next vendor.
Yeah.
So if you have this time that you're frustrated, I would ask most of our business owners, what are you doing to retool and reskill yourself so you can re-engage? I tie this to food again. I don't care if you have the best macaroni and cheese in the world. If I walk in your restaurant and I want rice and gravy, you better be serving rice and gravy.
No,
if you don't have a kitchen full of macaroni and cheese, you got to serve what the potential client is asking for. Yeah. What are you doing to do something different that the client needs? What are you doing to solve their current problem today? Not what you did for them last year. You've already got that invoice paid. What are you doing that's going to get you to stay in business where you don't disappear? So retool, reskill so you can re-engage and say, hey, yeah, we can serve that. Yes, we can do that. Yes, we have the capacity and capability, and we do it really, really well. So what are you doing to be better for tomorrow?
Yeah, that's Ron Harvey. He's COO with Global Core Strategies and Consulting, along with Erica Wade. She's the manager of the Richland County Office of Small Business Opportunity. We've been talking about the Inclusion, Equity, and Diversity webinar that's taking place this Thursday on Zoom. And again, tell Erica how people can register for this free webinar.
They can go on to our Richland County website, www.richlandcountysc.gov/OSBO, and go to the workshops tab, and you will see diversity, equity, and inclusion, and you can register. And of course, it's through Zoom.
Yeah. So, Erica, tell us a little bit about other opportunities and other resources that you offer at the Richland County Office of Small Business Opportunity.
Well, at the Office of Small Business Opportunity, one of our main focus is advocacy. We advocate for our small, local, and minority businesses just to make sure that they have, quote unquote, a seat at the table. They have equal opportunities. So what we do, we actually have a small local business enterprise certification. And with that certification, we're allowed to set goals on projects at Richland County. And we've actually been able to set a high goal up to 35% utilization SLBE goal. And that's on transportation projects and non-transportation projects. One of the things we also offer, trainings and workshops, just like the one that we're having, like I kept saying, to equip our small businesses with the tools that they actually need. We focus on building capacity for our small businesses because we want them to grow. Yeah, that's the whole reason why you're in business. You want to grow, and with you growing, you can hire our local residents here in Columbia, or other neighboring areas here. So those are some of the things. And also we want to make sure that you can compete, not just for Richland County projects, but for any project that you want to go and bid on. So those are the type things that we focus on at the Office of Small Business Opportunity. Like I said, I would strongly advise any small business that's out there that's in the field in construction, architecture, engineering, professional, non-professional services to come in and get registered. We have a registry that the city uses if they're looking for a small local business, if they have a project. We all share each other's website. DOT uses our website. The governor's office uses our website. We collaborate together. So there's a service that we can't provide. We'll, refer you on to our different partners. We have a very, very good relationship. Sometimes people tend to compare, but believe it or not, we actually have a relationship. We work together. But like I said, at our office, our main thing is just advocating for our small local business community. And you can go to that same website at richlandcountysc.gov, OSBO, and you can click on, and it'll show you all of our certification. The SLB certification is out there. You can call our office, and we have a really good compliance officer that would help you. And Ron can tell you, Ron is one of our SLBs, as a matter of fact, right, Ron?
Yes. I mean,
Ron can tell you the process is very simple. Everything is, you just upload your information. Within a week to 2 weeks, we can get you certified.
Oh, that's good. That's good to know. So if you are a small business or know someone who is a small or minority business, it doesn't matter, right? Small minority business. I'm not saying if you need, I'm saying you do need to. You do need to for your growth, for your business, for expansion, for networking, which all of that means growth. Yes. Please contact the folks at the Richland County Office of Small Business Opportunity. You can get several different types of resources. As Erica said, you can get registered. And when you register and get certification, then it opens you up to all of the different contracts that are available.
And like I said, and we actually set goals, utilization goals on our contracts countywide. Mm-hmm. And like I said, we've had one up to 35% utilization goal. That's so good. I strongly encourage you, come on over and get certified and get registered for our event. So you can also be able to take advantage of our workshops and trainings that we have throughout the year.
Awesome. Ron, you want to say?
The beauty of it is for all of our small business owners, if you look at Richland County, small business pay a healthy tax here in this county. This is a service that you're already paying for. So please utilize the county because we're paying taxes as small business owners, and a lot of it, to be quite honest about it. You take advantage of all these things because oftentimes small business, we don't have the capital or revenue to continue to pay for everything that we need. So take advantage of all of the things that don't cost you anything other than the fact that you need to show up, invest time, and learn as much as you can. So hop on board with us, learn what you can that doesn't cost you anything except for your time. And investment and paying attention and grow. You should always grow as a small business. If you were last year, we're in trouble. You should not be the same.
Yes.
Be something that's one to two things different. And here's an opportunity for you to get 1 to 2 things in your tool bag.
Awesome. The information is at the bottom of the screen. You can contact OSBO at 803-576-1540. If you have a question, you can email OSBO at richlandcountysc.gov, or better yet, just go to the website, www.richlandcountysc.gov/OSBO. There you can find information on the upcoming webinar, which is Thursday, and all of the amazing information and resources that you need to take your business to the next level. Take advantage of this incredible opportunity, and I hope to see you Thursday at the webinar. Erica, anything else, or Ron, we need to know?
No, we're super excited. I mean, registration's open. We're happy to have you join us, but phenomenal. Thanks to the county. Thanks to you, Tre. You are the moderator. And so Tre is doing a phenomenal job. And small businesses, this plug for Tre. If you need to be able to highlight your business, use everybody that has a small business to promote. All of us need visibility. So
Yeah.
TailorMade Productions, begin to reach out to her.
Thank you. Thank you. Barbara Broman says, great information. Not all subscribe to this media outlet. Smaller countries have small businesses, she said, and this is a need to know information for Sumter Kershaw Lee. Yes, she said she hears you, but how does it affect these businesses get the word? She said, we as a community are uninformed and not connected to, she said, outs like this. I don't know what she means. So outlets. Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's important that we continue to communicate that the media has changed. The way we get messages out has changed. And so I think we're going to get more accustomed to using other business owners such as Tre or anybody else that's helping us get the message out. You know, so there's major outlets, but there are also smaller outlets. So I think we're going to become more accustomed, more aware, and pass the word. You know, I can go to Facebook and see a whole bunch of stuff that doesn't help my business grow.
Right.
Well, let's put something on Facebook that does help us in our community. And so this is a part of how we do it. So, you know, thank you for putting that statement out there. You're exactly right. And we're the ones that's going to make a change. Change is difficult, but we can do it if we all work together.
Absolutely. And those of us who know are responsible for educating those people who don't know.
Yes.
I totally believe that. If I know something and somebody, whether it be like Barbara saying, a smaller city or community, or somebody I know doesn't know anything, I'm not helping if I don't then disseminate that information.
Yes.
So it's up to all of us who do know to help those who don't know. I'm my brother's keeper, my sister's keeper. I believe that. I just believe that.
Yeah, we're in it together. I think we got to communicate. We're in this together. And if one small business goes out of business, it hurts our economy, it hurts our schools, it hurts our children, it hurts our revenue. So please don't withhold the information. I know it, and I'm not going to tell anybody. It doesn't make you better because you don't share.
I agree.
All of us grow. I'm not gonna. If you share with me, and I tend to. Everybody. I do leadership. Everybody that does leadership in our city are friends of mine. So I'm not competing against them. I'm collaborating with them. Share the information. We all want to be successful, and if all of us are successful, it's a better community to live in.
Yeah, absolutely. Ron, Harvey, Erica Wade, thank you so much again for joining us today. We'll have to have another great conversation about how we get more messages to the masses. And Barbara Bowman, we're going to count on you to get in that conversation. Alex Wright says it's a must to share good information. Absolutely. It absolutely is. And especially in those rural areas, as Barbara says, you know. And that's a whole nother conversation about internet access. That's another conversation for another day. Thank you, Ron.
That's another show for you.
I've had Mignon Clyburn was on earlier this week, and we were talking about connectivity. You know, she was former chair of the FCC, and we talked about that. So, anyway, thank you guys.
We got work to do, but we can do it.
We do. Yeah. I agree. It is a lot of work, but we can do it. And
we can do it.
If we all do what we can do, that's the thing. Sometimes, and I know Barbara said she's doing her part, but she's one. But each of us are just one person. Yeah. But if each of us do what we can do, then we can cover more ground. If each of us do what we can do. It looks a little bit big when you think I'm just me, but everybody is just them. Everybody's just that one person.
Well, I think it's important to pay attention to for Barbara because, you know, to the world, you may be one person, but to one person, you may make a world of difference. It only took one person to help me stay positive in my business, one person at a time. So Barbara, do your best as that one person, and that one person will share with another person. But I think every day, we should find one person to give something to or share something with. Do one person a day. You're at 7 a week then.
Yeah.
And I keep the comment, each one reach one.
That's right. That's right. I want to say hi to Darnell Bain and Markeisha Janice Armstrong. Thank you guys so much for watching Coping with COVID. We're going to come back, and thank you, Ron, and thank you, Erica. When we come back, thank you. When we come back, candidate for Richland County Council, Jonnieka Farr, is going to join us. Plus, you're going to get a chance to win in Tre's birthday giveaway. That's right. This month is my birth month, but you are getting the prizes. And I'll tell you this, I'm going to ask a trivia contest about what Erica and Ron were talking about. That and more. Coming up next on Coping with COVID. I'm Tre Tailor.
Coping with COVID is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdheck.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. Also, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Center. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their life. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Center at agapects.com. And Columbia Housing Authority. The agency is looking for stories from former residents of Allen Benedict Court to retain some of the property's rich history. In its 80-year life, Allen Benedict Court has been home to some of the country's elite, including a Grammy Award-winning performer, corporate executives, national television celebrities, a host of doctors, lawyers, and NBA greats. So share your pictures, mementos, and memories at chcares@chasc.org. Coping with COVID, brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Palmetto Media Connection, established in 2010, connecting media and communities together, hosting annual media socials and also bringing awareness to our communities. We are proud to sponsor Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor, and during this month of September, we say happy birthday, Tre. Find and like us on Facebook, Palmetto Media Connection, connecting media and communities together.
So glad to have Palmetto Media Connections as a sponsor of Coping with COVID, and they are donating some of those disposable face masks for the Coping with COVID birthday giveaway. Jonnieka Farr is a public servant who believes in working in the community as chair of the Democratic Women's Council and board member of Richland County Community Relations Council. She focuses on collaborations to find meaningful solutions, and she wants to do that for Richland County. The business analyst for the state of South Carolina is a mom of two who enjoys hiking and spending time with her dog. Thank you, Jonnieka, so much for joining us. We appreciate it, beautiful.
Thank you so much for having us here today. Yes, we are running for Richland County Council District 9, so I appreciate you allowing us to speak on behalf of myself to ensure that people vote and bring that meaningful change that we stand for on September the 8th. So thank you so much.
Absolutely. So, Jonnieka, there is a special election Tuesday, but you ran originally.
I did. We launched our campaign initially on January the 16th. And we launched because we wanted to bring something different. We call our campaign Not Politics as Usual. And so we pointedly ran and jumped in during the week of January, on that day, January 16th, and specifically because it was the day after Martin Luther King's birthday. Right. And so all of the principles that he stands for and he stood for is why we are in the race. And that's what we wanted to bring to Richland County.
So you did very well in that race. You, of course, the late, great Chip Jackson won, but you were only less than 200 votes away.
Yes, 157 votes short. Yes. That we came very close, but Mr. Jackson won, and like you said, much respect to him and his family. Unfortunately, he passed, but he won that race. Yes.
Yeah, and of course now with the tragic death of Chip Jackson, you're back out there on the campaign trail.
I am. And it is a whirlwind. It's a 3-week race. So you look at how we started on January the 16th. We were in the primary, so we had that election on June the 9th. And then we made it to the runoff, and that was June 23rd. And here we are again on September the 8th. And, we had to come back out because our message appeared to resonate with the residents here in our district. And so we felt only appropriate to step out one more time to bring that courageous and compassionate leadership for our district.
Absolutely. With only 150 votes between you and the incumbent, definitely have to go back out there. Now, did you speak to Chip Jackson before that or after the election?
After the election, I did speak with him. I wanted to reach out because it was a campaign that we both felt was ran with respect. We wanted to make sure that it was a positive campaign. And so there were negative reports that would come out, and, some people would want you to jump on that. But I never wanted to do that. I wanted to keep the campaign positive and respectful, and we ran our race. And so I reached out to him and we talked, and he would always appreciate and tell me how much he appreciated that we kept the race respectful and positive. And he was a great figure, and we really will miss his presence.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Jonnieka Farr joins us. She is a candidate for Richland County Council. She and 3 other folks, because here's the thing, the race has gotten full.
Yes.
With this around.
Right. It has. But, our message continues to remain the same. Yeah. We are focusing on our roads, our small businesses, and your segment prior to this really provides great information and is a tool for small business owners here in our community. Our campaign understands how important they are to our communities. For every dollar that is spent at a small business, 67 cents of that dollar remains in the community. So not only do they create jobs, but they foster community engagement. And that's another one of our platforms that we believe wholeheartedly in being engaged in our communities. So it's great to have seen the segment prior to this one, getting all of that information. I'm hoping people will join that what they will have on Thursday. That's going to be important. And
absolutely. So in addition to small business, you're also focusing on roads and county projects. Tell us what you want to do as far as that's concerned, Jonnieka.
Well, in my area, I'm in the northeast area of Columbia. Hard scrabble road, for those who have traveled or live in this area, it can be a nightmare. And we have been
a hard scrabble, girl. It is a hard scrabble, I tell you.
Yes, and we've been waiting for quite some time for that project to be completed. I moved out in this area in 2001, and it was an issue. But in 2008, I remember a restaurant had a petition. It was just a piece of paper that we all signed and said, please sign this so we can widen Hard Scrabble Road. That was 12 years ago. And then we had the promise of, things being handled with the penny tax. And that was 2012. And so here we are 8 years later, and we're waiting for those projects to be finished. And we understand that it is slated to be completed by 2021. So I want to make sure that that project is completed. From my understanding and what I know, that is the #1 project when it comes to the penny tax. Those projects, that's the #1 that they are working on. So we want to make sure that we focus on that and have that completed so we don't have such a headache.
So small business development, roads and county projects, safety and community engagement. That's another thing that you're focusing on.
Yes. And what we believe is that when our communities are engaged, that means we believe that you should just take it back to the basics of knowing your neighbors. When you know your neighbors, not only does that increase your safety, but it also builds trust. And so we believe that is so important, and that's the link between safety and working closely with our law enforcement. We have those CAT teams, that community action teams that we can reach out to. Here in my neighborhood, we have someone who is very active in making sure that our neighborhood is monitored and taken care of, and it's a phone call away. So we want to make sure we work closely with law enforcement, but we believe wholeheartedly in having our neighborhoods and our neighbors engaged with each other. COVID-19 made that happen for us. When everything shut down and we were at home, we learned more about our neighbors than we ever did before because we looked out for one another. And that is key for us. So we believe wholeheartedly in community engagement.
Alex Wright said, Wobble Road. Yeah, hard wobble. He says hard wobble. It's a scramble for me. Anyway, Jonnieka Farr joins us today. She is a candidate for Richland County Council, and we've been talking about some of the things that she wants to focus on. So we talked about roads and county projects, small business development, safety and community engagement. And then your fourth point is youth empowerment.
Yes. Having our youth more engaged. South Carolina ranks 9th when it comes to juvenile incarceration and arrests. And so we believe the time is now for that we have to tackle that issue. And we believe the best way to do that is to offer volunteer opportunities and alternative programming for our youth. We're asking that we have our community organizations and faith-based organizations be more involved in creating those avenues for our youth, because when they are involved, when we ask the youth to step up, they generally do. They're waiting on us to ask them, and we let them know that they hold the key to our future endeavors. We're lifting them up, and we're laying the groundwork for their future tomorrows. And then taking it further of having an youth council on Richland County.
Oh,
we had an additional council for our youth on Richland County, and that would be a space where we could listen to the youth. They could gather and give information and work with county council and empowering them, getting information, strengthening them, having them more engaged in our communities, because we have to remember that the future lies with them.
Oh, absolutely. And they've got so much energy, so many great ideas. So I love that idea. So roads and county projects, small business development, safety and community engagement, youth empowerment. So Jonnieka, what else do you want voters to know? Why should we vote for Jonnieka Farr?
Exactly. I'm someone that is, again, doing politics, but not as usual. So when I talked about when we launched in January and we said that we were not politics as usual, I spoke of Martin Luther King. So when we talk about our roads and small businesses, community engagement and youth engagement, when we look at solutions to the problems that we're facing, we're looking at them and solving them with a lens of compassion, love, and service. That's what makes us different. Everything that we will do for our community, that we will do for our district, that we will do for our county will be through that lens of compassion, love, and service. And I believe that is what we are in need of right now. We need someone who is going to be accessible. And I plan on and promise to be accessible, have integrity in handling our taxpayers' funds and doing the job, understanding that being a council member is merely representing the people that I work for. I work for the people. It is not the other way around. Yeah. And so we want to make sure that we reach out more and have that transparency, making sure that people are informed. So we pose having more town hall forums, having more outlets to where we can speak to the people every other month. I've spoken with the church who would allow us to utilize their space as a venue for such, so that we can keep people informed. And then virtually, we now have a space where we can reach out to others more virtually. So communicating more with constituents so people don't feel that they don't have the representation, and finding answers. I will not know all of the answers, but we will work together to make sure that we find those solutions to the problems. And so we guarantee all of those as we represent you on Richland County Council District 9.
Right. And as you said, there is the special election is this Tuesday.
Yes.
Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yes. And all of the precincts will be open. So the precincts that you have voted prior to June, we do not want a repeat of June. We don't even want to talk about that. But it was posed to me, should they consolidate the precincts or allow all of them to be open? And I was an advocate for having all of the precincts open, because you don't want to disenfranchise the voter. We need to go where we know to vote. We don't want people running around trying to find them. Now, for a candidate, it's going to be a little difficult of going for 16 precincts, but I am willing to do what needs to be done so that the voters are not disenfranchised. And most importantly, we want people to vote on September the 8th. But we want people to vote, period.
Yes.
November the 3rd, we need people to vote. We need people to register. We need people to know when they can vote, where they can go. Go to scvotes.org to register, to find your precinct. Be prepared. Print your ballot. Go to, there's a voter protection hotline that you can call. I wish I had that number at my disposal, but I don't have it with me. But you can Google that number. And if there are any issues, you can call them and they will assist you. We want to make sure that voters are empowered.
Yeah. scvotes.org. That information is scrolling. And then your website is also scrolling. Deborah Breedlove says, Richland County needs you. Please vote. Also, Alex Wright says he agrees. He says there are plenty of youth that want to volunteer. Deborah also said the youth council is an excellent idea. So, September 8th, like you said, polls are open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. Please go out and exercise your right to vote. And of course, Jonnieka wants you to vote for her.
Yes, we need your vote. We want to bring meaningful change to our district, to our county. We want to bring something fresh and new.
Yeah.
And I'm your candidate for that because I believe we need to work together.
Yeah. Well, and you know what? That Richland County Council is going to look so different. I mean, Gretchen is new, Derek is new, Overture is new, Cheryl is new. So, and you'll be new. So there'll be 5 new people on Richland County Council. So it will be a fresh, hopefully look at a fresh approach to the county. So people need to be involved and be engaged. Alex said it's tough, a tough election right after the Labor Day holiday. You know, I don't know who chooses the dates, but anyway, that's something else somebody needs to figure out. Who chooses the dates. But anyway, so again, as you can see, Jonnieka's website was scrolling a little bit. Oh, voter protection. Deborah Breedlove has the number for voter protection. Thank you, Deborah Breedlove.
Deborah.
Now, 855-785-0222. 855-785-0222. If you are having any issues once you get to that poll and you've got some questions or somebody's saying something to you or anything, just call 855-785-0222. Jonnieka, thank you so much for joining us today. Good luck to you. God bless. Anything else that you want to say in closing?
I just want to make sure people understand that they should vote for Jonnieka Farr, definitely, and make sure you vote, period. We just talked about making sure that you vote not only on September the 8th, but November the 3rd. It's your right, it's your voice, and you have the ultimate choice in making that happen. So please, let's get out and do what we're supposed to do, which is vote.
All right, give us your website one more time.
All right, that is www.jfarforsc.com.
JFAR for SC is right there at the bottom of the screen. .com if you want more information about Jonnieka, if you want to volunteer or if you want to donate. I'm sure she'll still take you $10.
Jonnieka. We're also on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at JFAR49. You can also find us there.
All right. Thank you, Jonnieka, so much. We appreciate you. Good luck to you. God bless you. Beautiful.
Bless you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, now, y'all, it's time for you to be a winner. That's right. We are getting ready to hook you up with Tre's birthday giveaway. My birthday is in September. All month long, we are hooking you up. Of course, you're going to win the Coping with COVID reusable masks, 10 disposable masks from the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Palmetto Media Connection, gift certificates from Janine the Coffee Queen, also New York High Style, European Wax Center. We've got Sabriti Body Butter and Jay's Hotter Than a Mofo sauce. Here's the question. What about November? Deborah said, what about November? What about November? Here's the question. What is the date of the webinar that Erica and Ron Harvey talked about? The first person that tells me the date that Erica and Ron talked about, then you will get the gift. It's my birthday and you get the prizes.
It's your birthday, shout.
That's right. It's my birth month, and you get the gifts. A Coping with COVID reusable mask, 10 disposable masks from the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities and Palmetto Media Connection, Sabriti Body Butter and Lip Balm, a free service from the European Wax Center, gift certificates from Deneen, the Coffee Queen, and New York High Style, a Jesus Always sampler, and J. Anthony Brown's Hotter Than a Mofo products. It's my birthday, and you get the gifts. And it's time for you to win right now on Coping with COVID. Good luck.
All right, the first person that can tell me the date, you will be a winner. Eleanor Hepburn, she said it's September 10th, and you is September 10th. Congratulations, Eleanor.
Congratulations, and thank you so much for watching Coping with COVID. Now you keep watching for your chance to win Monday through Saturday at 2 p.m., airing live on Facebook Live, IG, and YouTube. It's my birthday, and you get the gifts on Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.
Congratulations once again to Eleanor Hepburn. Eleanor Hepburn was the first person to put in the comments that September the 10th is the Office of Business Opportunities. Barbara said, oh man, Barbara, I'm sorry. Eleanor got it first. So congratulations to you, Eleanor. Someone on the Coping with COVID team will inbox you and get your information. You keep watching because your chance to win will come up next week. Speaking of next week, Tuesday, Dominion Energy joins us on Coping with COVID. They're going to give us some tips from working and schooling at home. Plus, we just talked to Jonnieka. We're going to talk to County Council-elect Overture Walker and Cheryl English. I tell you that Richland County Council is changing, and we're going to talk to those two next week. Wednesday, In It Together and the Diabetes Advisory Council bring on Wellness Wednesday. We're going to talk about Sickle Cell Awareness Month and also pain management. Thursday, Dominion Energy joins us again to talk about payment plans and payment arrangements. And Sing Out Columbia is an initiative that is raising funds to help COVID victims. That's on Thursday. And then Faith Friday, Jennifer Bishop will join us. That's right. Jennifer Bishop with Grace Christian Church will join us for Faith Friday. And then, of course, Fun Day Monday with J. Anthony Brown. We don't ever know what that's going to be, but we look forward to that. That's coming up next week on Coping with COVID. Listen, if you have a story that could help someone cope with COVID, please go to Tailor Made Productions and inbox us. We would love to talk to you about getting your story featured. If you have a product or service that could help someone cope with COVID, please email copingwithtretailer@gmail.com. And we would love to talk to you about featuring your product or service. And you could be a sponsor just like SCDHEC, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, or Palmetto Media Connections. Please let us know. Continue to post and share this interview out so we can get the message to the masses. We got some great information today from the Richland County Office of Small Business Opportunity, and of course from Jonnieka Farr, who is running for Richland County Council. Don't forget to like and share the Tailor Made Productions page and subscribe to the YouTube page. As always, I leave you with a reading from Jesus Calling, and today is no different. It's September 5th, and I can see today with my contacts on. Jesus says, I am your best friend as well as your king. Walk hand in hand with me through your life. Together, we will face whatever each day brings. Pleasures, hardships, adventures, disappointments. Nothing is wasted when it's shared with me, Jesus says. I can bring beauty out of ashes of lost dreams. I can glean joy out of sorrow, peace out of adversity. Only a friend who is also the King of Kings could accomplish this divine alchemy. There is no other like me. The friendship I offer you is practical and down to earth, yet it's saturated with heavenly glory. Living in my presence means living in two realms simultaneously, the visible world and unseen eternal reality. I have equipped you to stay connected with me while walking along dusty, earthbound paths. That's your Jesus Calling for today, Saturday, September 5th. I'm Tre Tailor. Until the next time, I wish you peace, abundant blessings, safety, and please, 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 this Labor Day weekend, social distance, avoid crowds, wear your mask, and make sure it covers your mouth and your nose. Thank you, guys.
Coping with COVID is brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control. Visit scdhec.gov for an updated list of testing sites and important information on how to protect yourself, your family, and friends from the coronavirus. SCDHEC, healthy people, healthy communities. Also, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, helping to meet the needs of small, minority, and women-owned businesses in the City of Columbia. Log on to columbiasc.net/OBO. Agape Counseling and Training Center. Call 803-779-2777 for licensed professionals of counselors and social workers helping families, engaged and married couples, and individuals of all ages gain an understanding of all aspects of their life. If you're having a challenge coping with COVID, contact Agape Counseling and Training Center at agapects.com. And Columbia Housing Authority. The agency is looking for stories from former residents of Allen Benedict Court to retain some of the property's rich history. In its 80-year life, Allen Benedict Court has been home to some of the country's elite, including a Grammy Award-winning performer, corporate executives, national television celebrities, a host of doctors, lawyers, and NBA greats. So share your pictures, mementos, and memories at chcares@chasc.org. Coping with COVID, brought to you by the South Carolina Department of Health and Environmental Control, the City of Columbia Office of Business Opportunities, Columbia Housing Authority, Agape Counseling and Training Center, and Palmetto Media Connection.
Coping with COVID with Tre Tailor.